I do not know why it's necessary for any of us who believe in this program to have to come and make speeches about it, because I do not know any problem or any remedy more obvious which now faces the Congress of the United States. The average older couple has about $50 a week to live on. The average older person living alone has about $20 a week. There is no room in that budget for a serious illness. Yet 1 in 6 will require hospitalization every year. The hospitalization will average 2 weeks, and the cost over $900. A $20 a week income, $1,040 a year, is hardly enough to pay for a $900 illness. Now, the person who has no resources, he gets a kind of treatment. He indicates that he's needy, and he gets some sort of help. But there's another person who I think is one that concerns us a good deal, and that's the person who may have $3,000 or $4,000 saved up, or who may own their own house with a mortgage, and may have 2 children who may be in their 40s. That person gets sick, the husband or the wife. They're in the hospital for more than 2 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 months, and there isn't anyone in this room who has not had a member of his family in the hospital at one stage or another of his life for a long time and know how much it can cost. So it may run up to $1,000 or $2,000, or even higher. And then he sells the home, or he goes to his children, he exhausts his savings, he has nothing left. Now, the program we suggested will provide that he will set aside during his working years an average of $13 a year. Not a burden for anyone employed, $13 a year. And that man and woman will know when they're over 65 that they will never be a burden upon their children and never be a charity case upon the national government, because they will have earned their way. And that's what we want. That's what we want. We're not asking for anybody to hand this out. We're asking for a chance to have the people who will receive the benefit to earn their way. The same principle established under the Social Security system in the 30s. You would not believe it necessary 30 years later, after we've seen the extraordinary success of the Social Security system, even though it was passed over the most vigorous objections, you would not think it necessary to say that hospital insurance shall be covered in the same manner. There isn't a country in Western Europe that didn't do what we're now doing 50 years ago or 40 years ago. Not a single country that is not way ahead of this rich, productive, progressive country of ours. We're not suggesting something radical or new or violent. We're not suggesting that the government come between the doctor and his patient. We're suggesting what every other major, developed, intelligent country did for its people a generation ago. And I think it's time the United States caught up. I don't think we ought to be second any place. 25 cents a week. I think this bill will pass. We were defeated 4 votes 3 years ago. We lost it by 2 votes in the Senate more than a year ago. My prediction certain is that if the members of the Congress, House and Senate, have an opportunity to vote on this, that this bill will pass in the 88th Congress. And when it does, every man and woman in this room will know that it was not a victory merely by the members of the Congress or the executive branch, but this was one piece of legislation that was carried on the backs of the elder citizens of this country. President Kennedy.